How's it going, everybody? It is Dennis, and we're back with another video. And I finally have bit the bullet. I finally pulled the trigger. I'm investing into Bitcoin, and to be specific, I'm investing into BTCI NEO's Bitcoin High Income ETF. And we're going to be going over why I chose BTCI, why I'm deciding to go into Bitcoin, and why or what is the performance of BTCI and why I'm choosing this one specifically over all the ETFs that are available out there and all the different strategies that are available out there. Why am I choosing BTCI? So firstly, why am I choosing to go into Bitcoin? Well, first of all, I think it's a place where I should be diversifying into. Yes, I am not 100% on the Bitcoin wave. I don't think Bitcoin is going to be this revolution or anything that everybody says it's going to be, but I might be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, so then other people could, make all the money they can in the world, and this becomes some kind of revolutionary thing, because I'm always for advancement. But in general, I just do not see a future in Bitcoin where it becomes this revolutionary item. Is it growing? Is it going to be something, something that's actually moving and creating income and producing something? Yes, sure. There's income being produced from it. We see it from MSTY that trades on MSTR that holds Bitcoin. We see it with BTCI. We see it with YBIT. We see it with all these other ETFs that are coming out that are leveraged on Bitcoin or are Bitcoin ETFs or are income-based Bitcoin ETFs, right? So we have a lot of Bitcoin products coming out. We have a lot of investors going into Bitcoin from big banks and big corporations and all that sort. So I think it was time for me to finally pull the trigger and start going into BTCI. I have yet to actually purchase BTCI just yet. I'm going to start investing probably towards the end of June, towards the end of last week or the beginning of July is when I'll start putting some funds into BTCI. But this will remain a small percent of my portfolio. Probably be less than 5% of my portfolio, maybe even at 2.5%, less than 2.5% of my portfolio. It'll just be a little position to have just in case there is some crazy growth on the Bitcoin side. And especially if there is a drop in Bitcoin value, then also I won't be too over leveraged or overvalued into BTCI. I won't be 10%, 5% into it. I'll be just down at 2% levels for BTCIs. But besides that, and besides my change of heart when looking at Bitcoin, still not investing into MSTY, still not investing into Coney, by the way. Only BTCI is where I'll be putting my money. Why am I putting my money in BTCI? Well, first of all, Neil's funds are, in my opinion, in my non-financial opinion, my YouTube personality opinion, I believe that Neil's investment funds are quite good funds. They're just overall good funds, and they're somewhat safe. Of course, no investment tool is safe or ETF is safe. It's all, perspective based and opinion based, but in my opinion, it is a safe fund, and most of their funds are safe, as you guys may or may not know. They have SPYI, QQQI, IWMI, IYRI, which is another fund I'm looking at that's a real estate focused fund. In general, they have good funds that produce good income and good returns. They outpace the market sometimes while also providing you dividends, right? They have upside potential with your dividend percentage that you're earning. So that means in general that when the stock price goes up, if you bought at a lower average cost, so will your dividend return, right? Your percent return will be higher because now the 12% return, let's say on SPYI, will be on a $60 stock value and you bought at 50, right? So you just increase your percent return by just holding the fund. But besides that, Neil's funds are just funds that I've grown to love and I've grown to enjoy. I've been holding them for not too long. I've been holding SPYI. Yet to go into QQQI. Probably won't because I have QDT exposure, which is QQQ orientated. But SPYI I've been holding for a little bit. I've seen other people hold it as well. And the performance in general is really good. So that's why I'm choosing BTCI, Neil's Bitcoin High Income ETF, compared to the other ones like YBTC from Roundhill ETF or YBIT from YMAX or YieldMax ETFs, right? So of course, YieldMax ETF 103% from YBIT, and YBTC has 22.48%. But when you look at the charts, it tells a different story. Looking at the charts on the 1 year, even with the fact that BTCI has not been out for 1 year, it's outperforming the rest of the funds at 48.35% year to date or on the 1 year scale. So 48.35%. S&P is 11.23%. YBTC is at 37.56%, so coming quite close. And YBIT is at 17.41%. So we can see that YieldMax's YBIT is definitely not performing that well. Even with their 103% distribution rate, your total return is only 17.41%. So you're beating the S&P, but it's still not that great. YBTC, on the other hand, from Roundhill, is doing decent at 37.56%, and I'm pretty sure it's a weekly payer. We can actually confirm it right now. Yep, it's a weekly payer, so it's paying every week, and it's giving you a growth of 37.56%. This is also a good fund that could be looked at if you're trying to get weekly income. But for me, I'm not looking for weekly income from Bitcoin. That's not something I'm looking for. I'm looking for more of a long-term hold. And with that, I have BTCI, which in the less than a year time frame that has been open, has yielded 48.35%, and beating all these other funds out of the waters, right? It's almost 10%. Oh, it is 10% higher than YBTC. It's roughly it's 30% higher than YBIT and 30% higher than S&P 500. So beats all of them out of the water. If we take a look at the dividend history from BTCI, we could see that it stays over the dollar mark, and it's been growing somewhat. It started off at $1.12 in October, the first payment that it ever had. Went to $1.40, $1.45, $1.57, $1.43, $1.33, $1.25, and then back up to $1.51. So the dividends are growing, and they're improving, and the stock value is growing as well. If we take a look at the chart, on the 1 year, the stock value has grown 20.24%. So if you bought at inception, like I said before, you bought at $50 per share, right? And you were getting, what is their average return annual? 30%. So say you were getting 30% at $50, and now you're getting 30% at $60. You bought in at $50, and now you're at $60 of value. That 30% increases for you, right? So that's also a good thing to see that there is increase in value in share value, meaning that, of course, you'll have an increase in percent return if you bought at a cheaper value. So there's that. Of course, that depends on Bitcoin as well. If Bitcoin continues to go up, then, of course, your value of BTCI will go up as well. And if we compare this to, say, YBTC, we can see that the dividend yield is higher. 45.14 on average percent is our dividend yield from YBTC. It's paid out $20.85 so far compared to BTCI's $11, but BTCI has been only up since October of 2024, so it hasn't even been a full year just yet. And of course, it's going to be less than YBTC because it is a monthly payer, and also because it does have a smaller yield. But even then, $20.85 from YBTC, and we can see that the dividends do vary a quite large amount. So I'm pretty sure this was back when it was paying on a monthly, right? January, February, yeah. So this one was paying monthly. You can see we're getting $1.13, $1.18, $4, $2, $1.84. And then they started switching. When did they switch over to weeklies? They switched over to weeklies in the new year. And you can see that it's $1, 53 cents, 34 cents, 38 cents, 87 cents, 56, 29, 28, 22, 24, 32. So you can see that it varies a good amount when it comes to YBTC. Like, we get ones like this, 87 cents. Don't know what happened during that time, but those 87 cents. Then we got 56 cents, right? And then it went back down to the 20s and 30s, and it stayed around the 20s and 30s until we got another 51 cents recently in May 22nd, and it went back down again to 20s and 40s and 20s, right? So it varies a lot with YBTC. So if you're looking for something that's stable, it's definitely not the choice that you would probably make. BTCI, as you saw with the dividends, BTCI is quite stable. $1.12 started off and just stayed consistent around the $1.40, $1.50, $1.40, $1.50. Then we got a 33 and a 25 cent one, and then $1.05 again, $1.51. So it stays around the $1.40, $1.50 mark. Of course, depends on the value of the actual shares, because that's what determines what that percent will get you, right? So if it's 30%, like I said, on $60 is different from 30% on $50 per share. And then we take a look at YBIT. YBIT is actually not too shabby on consistency, but of course, YBIT is monthly paying. So we take a look at YBIT, $1.37, $1.21, drops to 67, 72, 79, 67, then back to $1, then drops again to 70, 78, 55, 43, 41, and up to 86.97. So you can see that it is on track to lose and lose on its dividend return. Of course, this makes sense because there's NAV erosion when it comes to especially YieldMax ETF with YBIT, right? And if we take a look at the chart on the 1 year, you can see that's been steadily eroding. It's been quite balanced recently, but from the 1 year chart, it's been steadily eroding in value. And because it's eroding in value, you are getting less and less on dividend per share. But technically, if you are reinvesting and lowering your average cost, then that percentage return will be the same, or it will be lowered at a less rate, or be eroded at a smaller rate than if you didn't reinvest. So because you would be pretty much getting a percent return. Let's go back to the chart. You would be getting a percent return from a purchase you made up here, and now the share price is down here. So this is the opposite of what's happening with BTCI. It's eroding, and we know a lot of funds do have erosion, so that's just something you have to deal with. But on a good side, on a plus side, BTCI, SPYI, NEO's funds are pretty good when it comes to not having erosion. They're able to keep their value steady or even grow a little bit and not experience erosion. And we saw that on the chart with BTCI. We take a look at it. BTCI, we saw it on the chart. It's grown 20.24%. So, it has growth, has dividends. What else do you need? And of course, Bitcoin exposure. So what else do you need? And also assets under, we could compare assets, I guess, under that they have. So BTCI is 277. We take a look at YBTC, 225, and YBIT is 143. So Roundhill and Niels have both the same when it comes to assets or amount of assets or asset value, and YBIT is pretty much half of what they have at 143. So seems like more investors are investing into BTCI and into YBIT. And I guess it makes sense because they have less erosion. Did we look at the chart? We didn't. Oh yeah, it has less erosion technically. It's not going straight down. It is able to recover quite well for Roundhills. But yeah, BTCI is what I'm choosing. And also you could say that there's also a second runner, which I was looking at, was YETH, but this is not Bitcoin based, it's Ethereum based. But I was looking at YETH and I was like, that's quite interesting. 62.26% distribution rate. And it pays monthly, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, this is quite interesting. They pay pretty good dividends. You can see like a dollar, $1.50, but they've been eroding a little bit. And then I went to the chart, and I can do it right here. We could type in YETH. And we look at the chart. Yeah, negative 16.03% on the 1 year chart. Of course, it hasn't been around for a whole year, but negative 16.03% is significant. That's really, really bad for ETH. And of course, that could be because Ethereum just hasn't been performing that well. But yeah, negative 16.03% is tough. That's a tough return. But yeah, just a quick video going over why I'm deciding to go into Bitcoin, why I'm choosing BTCI ETF from NEO over all the other funds. And it's just clear, right? It's clear right here on the chart. 48.35% total return, right? Even better, look at this. We could go to metrics, performance, price return. Look at that. Just price alone is 22.26%, which beats every YBTC and YBIT. And you could take that 30% dividend and use it, right? So values kept, right? Values kept and grown. And you get a 30% dividend on average, which you can use for whatever you want. So in my eyes, this seems like a way better fund than all these other funds. Do you have weekly reinvestments from YBTC? No. Do you have high yields from YBIT? No, but you do have 22.26% value growth as well as 30% dividends. So why not take that? It's just, in my opinion, seems like a better play. And you get Bitcoin exposure, and that's all I need from my Bitcoin exposure. I don't need my Bitcoin exposure to give me weekly paychecks or weekly reinvestments. And I don't need high dividend yields like YBIT. All I need is just some exposure with good value growth, good steady value if possible, while getting dividends to build that position higher, or even use that dividends to reinvest into other funds. Say I get to 2% or 2.5% of my portfolio, and say if I was to get the dividend and reinvest it, it would exceed my 2.5% or 2% of my portfolio, and it would boost me up to like 2.75. I'll take that dividend and throw it somewhere else, because I don't need to expose myself even more into Bitcoin. I'd rather expose it to other areas. And now I have excess amount of dividends to reinvest into other areas. So yeah, that is why I'm choosing BTCI. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion, and the reason for why my opinion is what it is. Not sponsored by Neo, because I know I've been doing a lot of videos about Neo's funds. Not sponsored, by the way. If they want to reach out, hey, I'm more than willing to talk with them. But yeah, BTCI. This is my choice for Bitcoin exposure. I'm, like I said before, going to be going into them probably end of June, beginning of July. That's when I'm going to start adding more income to there. But yeah, been keeping my eye on BTCI, have been doing my research, and they're proving to be a great fund to have Bitcoin exposure. And I'll be happily putting some of my income that I earn and money into there to go ahead and get more exposure in that space until we reach that 2 to 2.5% exposure that I want to have in my portfolio. And from there, like I said, all the dividends I earn, if they go over that percent exposure, throw them into somewhere else. Throw them into other funds. That's all. That's all you really have to do. Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching. That is my video. That's me finally pressing the trigger on Bitcoin. No, I will not buy MSTY. No, I will not buy Coney. So don't even ask me in the comments. I'm sticking to BTCI, and I'm not going to those funds. I'm not touching those funds with a 6-foot pole. I know people are making great money from them, but it's just not my thing, not my investment, not something I want to have in my portfolio. So anyways, see you guys in the next week video. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, if you have any advice for Bitcoin investment, just leave it in the comments. Always love talking to you guys and just reading everything you guys have to say. See ya.